I guess that's done.
Can you like talk a little louder? I can't
All
hear
right,
you.
I got you. Okay, so you know how to start a project, right? Just create a new
Yeah,
file, stuff like that. Okay,
yeah.
so once you're here, do you know how to declare the root view?
Yeah.
So this is like the first page that you see when you open it. So usually you'd use something like this kind of code where you just replace some of the existing stuff here. Hold on, there. So this can just be replaced with these three lines of code. You just basically you change it to a actual variable you can use, and then you establish your review, which would be this one for now. Your view control. Okay. Sorry. Do you know how to like define objects, right? Like your UI views, labels, buttons, all that.
Yeah.
Could you make this? I can help you with whatever you need.
Um,
So usually this would be like a UI. These could all be UI labels, and then that's a UI
Including
button.
the button part or
This is UI button. The rest could be done with UI labels. So
uh
the only thing right now is the gradient background, which is a bit more special.
yeah, I don't know how to make the gradient
Yeah,
background.
so for
Like
now you could just substitute it with a solid color and then you can change that one. It's a quick fix, but it's just like extra code you don't need right now so you have like a full running project. So like you can do all of these like things, right?
I'm gonna go blow my nose.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're gonna go get your thing.
okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. So you're familiar with like stuff like this, right?
Uh yeah.
And then you just define whatever's what do I do? Hold on. Uh
Or did you make like the background? Is that like
this
do
thing?
you have to
So
make like an image somewhere else or like is there a thing for
oh
that?
for the background?
Yeah.
That's just you can set the view controller's background color to just doing view dot background color, and you can just choose a color here. And then so you can also do a UI color, which gives you more specified form. So there's like presets. If you top, it'll autofill. You can just select any of these. But if you want, you can go through like the RGB values, like out of any, just put out 255. So, like
Yeah, but like how would you make that a gradient? Is that like
yeah, that's a more
can
complex thing. You need to like build it out. Uh, Usually it's I think I have it preloaded. Yeah, so you need all this code here. So it's not hard. You just need to paste this in. You can get that in,
well
but like you need to build up like a it's like multiple UI views and you just they're very thin and then slowly they build up to like one solid color. It's a bit of like annoying or there's a big block of code. But yeah, like I said, for colors, like this early on, you don't need to worry about that stuff. You just need to make sure all the view controllers work together properly. So what I would do first is just set up this page if you want to do that now, or I can help you like show you some basic stuff. You know how to, because yeah, you said you can make this, right? Or is there anything here that besides the background you don't know how to do?
like the image,
Yeah,
the
just this
eye
image.
inside the button.
Oh, the image. Okay. Well, that's an emoji. So you could just use a UI label. Sorry,
Uh,
excuse me. Yeah, like, or if you want, you could do a UI image view, but that would be for an actual image. So you would have to get like an image of an eye. see if they have it here. Yeah, so like you can, this is the image of an eye that's built into the system. So you can either do that or this. Let me get that set up after I see what I did wrong here. Hold on. What did I do? Give me a second. What did I do? Second. What is wrong? Hold on. Give me a second. Something is happening. Oh, sorry. Okay. All right. So to do this, you could either do a UI image, UI label. Yeah. And you would just set the text equal to emoji, which you could do with and then you can just, so we did that. You should just get the eye in the middle of the screen. Let's see. Yeah, so it's with the UI label, you could customize a lot of the text. So you can set the text alignment to the center. You can also set number of lines. So when you set it equal to 0, it's just infinite number of lines. But and then I think you can also set the font. And then there's a bunch of options here. Now we just do. I think that changes the size because it's considered text. All right, so you can adjust the size of the font because it's technically just a text. The other way you could do it is with an image, UI image view, and similar definition. So this time you're not using text, it's a literal image. So here instead, you can first just define the frame.
Okay, so how would you put like the box around it? Is that like a
That's a background color. So this one, I put the view equal to like the entire background, but you could set it with a more specific thing. You know how to do like a CD rect. Okay, so we can do like, so that, oops, let me get rid of this. Yeah, and that's just a background. You can just change the background color because like that. And so yeah, you just customize it based on these numbers here. And if you want the roundedness, you just add the corner radius. Usually I put this around like 5 to 20, and that'll determine how round the corners get. But apparently it is not. Hold on. Let me double check that really quickly. Okay. Maybe, oh, it's too small. So yeah, I think more noticeably. You can experiment with these numbers, but this is the general like. Hold on. All right. If that doesn't work, make sure you add clips to bounds equals true. And there we go. So to change the roundness, oops. change the roundness of the UI view or UI label, you add these two lines. And then earlier you didn't see that background because I set the frame to the entire screen. But once you specify like that and you give it a background color, it'll be noticeable. And so like also make it the exact same. Oops. So if we want to make it the exact same color, do instead of a built-in preset, specify with UI color and give it RGB value. Okay. And so here, do you know how to do? Did you do this before?
Kind of.
Okay. Basically, you can just specify the RGB. Sorry, let me close my door. You can specify the RGB values of a color without, so you don't have to use the presets. It gives you just a more specific color. And then if you're on Mac, you have a built-in digital color meter. So we could just sample this color here. And those are our numbers, 140, 139, 211. Write those down. Hold on, sorry. Yeah, they should be around 130. 140. And then you just put them all at 255. And then alpha is the transparency. So 1 would be opaque and then 0 would be completely transparent. So usually we just want a full color like that. So now we should get somewhat of a similar color. Right. And for the background, it's the same thing. So here, instead of dot clear, same thing. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, the gradient, don't worry about that for now. Just get like a general color you can use. So we can do 110. Just like say 200. So yeah, I mean, we're kind of there, right? Like looks wise. And another tip for when you're designing UI is solid, like flat numbers are usually not preferable for like width and height, because when you build the app and you use these coordinates, it varies depending on like the device. Like 100 for a Pro iPhone, this is Pro, could be like here, but for like a mini or like the other smaller phones, that could be like almost your entire screen. So that's just a heads up. You can always reference it to the views positions. So you can like view dot frame dot width and then divide it by 2. So that would give you the center, and you subtract by 100. And if you give it a width of 200, then it'll be centered properly. Same with the Y, where like, Y, this one's a little on above, so we could leave it there if you want. And okay, so I can show you the other way, which is with a UI image view this time. So same thing, we can use the same frame. But this time, UI image, like that, UI image. And then this is an app you can use, and this just has every image that's already built into the Mac system. So like we could use this if we wanted to. So you copy the name, and then you'll do system name. And we can set the image's color with tint color. So we do, yeah, dot white, and we'll do the background color as well as these two. So just give it the background we're looking for. So instead, this time we'll do. If I did this correctly, we should have an image this time. Okay. And so it's a bit squashed. So when you deal with UI image views, you can set the content mode to one of these three: scale, aspect, fill, fill, fit. So usually we do fit, or well, I think it's fit. That should give you your proper ratio. There we go. Right. So the only difference is this is an image and the other was technically a piece of text. Okay, let's see what else. I guess with UI view controller lifecycle, I'm not sure what you wanted me to tell you specifically, I guess, but just that you can always create like a view controller is just basically a page, one specific page, and you can just create a new one and include this function and super.view did load to get the view to appear. You how to do, or you know how to do root view. It's literally just these three lines. It's not even because when you start, you have this, and you just change this to a name. So I changed it to scene view, and then you just include these three lines. Should be right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Next would be. Sorry, I know I'm going fast. Do you get this stuff, or do you need me to like go in more depth with something?
Um, could you slow down a bit, maybe?
Yeah. Just do you have any questions so far?
No.
No. Okay. So then now we'll do these things. So the text, right? I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be too bad. And then so I don't know if he made you do lazy bar. What do you usually do when you create an object here? Do you use lazy bar or let?
Uh, lazy bar.
Lazy bar. Okay, cool. Yeah. Because the difference between lazy bar and let is that lazy bar basically initializes the object after this view to load is called. So that's how you're able to reference the views width and stuff in here. So I just stick with lazy var unless you have like flat numbers like earlier, like 100, then you're safe with doing a let definition. But just stick with lazy var. It's a bit confusing. Okay, and then so for the text, do you know the three types of text objects you can use? So there's label, but there's also text view, and then there's text field. And so text view and text field are basically things you can like have the user can modify, like type in. So usually for that we just stick with label because it's not editable by the user. So we just define it as usual. So we'll just copy the text. So you can always use clear as a background color. And then since these two are different sizes, we would split them into two UI text views or UI labels, unless you wanted to get more complex. And there's a thing called like an attributed string, but that's really messy, especially if like we're still new to it. So we'll just stick with two different UI labels, one to make the bigger text and one to make the smaller text. You can also set the font here. And then here, this is font names are a bit like wacky because I'm not really sure how you get every possible name you could use. So it's usually we just stick to Arial or we can just stick with the system font. Sorry, second. Okay, yeah, we'll just stick with Arial. can always customize this later. And for size, usually I just experiment until I get the right appearance. I just eyeball it first, so we can go like 25. And then we'll just define the rest of our things. So the frame. So since this is under, it's good practice to have X would usually be, if we wanted to be centered, we usually do the same thing as we did here. Except, so we want it to start at the middle, and then we'll just eyeball it for now as usual. So we can do like minus 80. And then don't forget we do 80. That means we double it for the width. So we put out 160. And then so for the Y, we want it to be right under this thing. So we could do the I image dot frame dot max Y. So that gives us the lowest Y position. And then we can add a spacer. So I just added 20. And for the height, this is also just an eyeballing thing. We go with like 80 for now. Right. And I think that should be it. So then we just add it to the subview. Sorry. Okay. So it got cut off, which means it wasn't wide enough. We can also fix that again with by adjusting the number of lines. So if we set it equal to 0, we'll never really have any issues. Plus the text alignment, we can add that to be safe. That should give us slightly better stuff. Right? And so it's a bit small. Sorry, did you say something?
Oh, I was just saying, wow. Like,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, and then of course there's text color and all this stuff. White, right, which is what we want. And yeah. So yeah, we're like already almost done there. Again, so all of this stuff is customizable with just like one word. Just find a font you like. Just change the name of the image, change the sizes, the positioning. It's all just like one button away. And so since like the next one is pretty much the same thing, just different text and different font size, we just name this text 2 and change this to, I'm not going to do this. And since it's smaller, so we're just going to put a smaller number. I'll up this to 40. 25. And this time, so same thing, we want it to be centered. So this is okay to keep. The only thing we change is the Y. So frame would be this time based on text 1. Again, we can just and yep, again, not enough space. So we increase the height. We already have. So when it trails off like that, it's too much text. Your frame's too small and your font size is too big. So you can just keep messing with these numbers. So with height, I could probably just change it to like 150. So, and then it's just a bunch of rerunnings to get it right. Same thing here. So one last trick for when you're dealing with text, there's a method for labels that you can do called adjust font size fit width equals true. That basically, that'll change your font size to like make it the maximum before it gets cut off. And I think that should fix it. There we go. So that pretty close. Again, that's a image. That's a UI label, so you can just use this one instead. Change this to. And last thing would be the button. I'm just typing this out. So so this one, the background will be white, so we can set the background color. Okay, and then since there's text, we'll just do bt dot set title color. So yeah, buttons are a bit different with like text where they have their own method instead of setting like their text equal to this and or text. Yeah, it's kind of different. And then I think this is supposed to be clear. I don't know if it actually works, but for now we can just use like the same purple we used here. Let's see. Yeah. We'll just use a substitute color. I think it's supposed to be a transparent thing so it blends in with the gradient. But it's just a color that's no problem. It's a quick fix later on when your app is actually running. Just always default to dot normal for your form. It's just part of the preset for when you make the title background. Set title. Title. Okay, that's how you set the title. So let's do it. Okay. Again, just do the center, make it a centered button. This will be, yeah. Things dot so for corner radius, you can get it to be perfectly smooth by just dividing by the like coordinate you want it to be round. So this is the height. So just divide the height by 2, so it'll be 20. Oh, we need to add it to the sub view. Yep, it's a bunch of okay, no worries there. You can treat the title of a button as a UI label by accessing the title label attribute, and then you do a question mark dot, and then now you have all the UI label things. So now we can set the font, and we can set the. Give me a second. There. So we have this now as well. Right. Yep. It's fully customizable. This is just a very like rough sketch, I'd call it. Okay. And do you know how to give the button a function?
No.
No. Okay. So this is universal for all buttons. You do the buttons thing, and you add target, and you do hashtag selector. And here you do, there's a bunch of options, but touch up inside is where it means if you click it, it'll trigger this function. And we don't have one right now, so we'll define one. With buttons, you do a objc and a func, and then the function name. So we'll just do like this. And this is optional, but you can do sender. So this makes it so you can access the button that triggers this function. So if you want the sender, like the button to turn pink when you're done, you can access it through sender. And so here we'll just do something. And usually it'll autofill to this, but when you're doing buttons, you just delete this header. So it's just the name of the function itself. And so now run this. So if we click this, it'll turn pink, I guess, if that's pink. And so this is where like we'll start the actual app. Let's see. Set main dashboard. Okay. So then now basically when we click this, we want to be able to send it to the next page, which I do not have. That's fine. I'll just set an example. Okay. We're gonna create a new file. This will be a new class. We'll call this main. So we always import UIKit. And we established a class. I guess the name would be. Yeah, so this would be like we specify the type of the UI view controller, and then we always include the view did load. So that's this new page basically. And so I guess Alex wanted you to do a tab bar, which is like so I'll just make it. Basically, there's something called right here, a tab bar controller. So I'm gonna just paste this in because I'm too lazy. Oops. Let's do this. Okay. So, oh wait. So it's pretty same thing. We want to have our main page. So this is. Do you know what I mean by a tab bar, or do you want me to show you an example? I can show you.
Yeah, example.
This is like also my 10th grade project. So, give it a second. Right. So it's this little thing down here. That's what the tab bar is. And so these two buttons there are their own view controllers, which we define here. And these are their own pages. So we're going to do the same thing here. We can do lets because these are constant. And we do not have anything yet, so I'll just create two temporary pages. That's one, and so like you could do this all on the same page. It's just neater to make new classes on their own pages, especially when they get long, like this. It's just nicer to have them in separate pages. Two. And here, so now we'll just set these equal to page one and page two. Let's see if that works. Okay. Sorry. Next, we're gonna go back to this button function, and we want to launch. We want to basically display the tab bar controller because the tab bar controller is like a container that holds all of these pages together. So you can treat it as like the main view controller, but really it's just a bottom thing, and it like hosts these smaller pages, which in our case would be page one and page two. It's customizable, so you can change all of these. You can change the tint color is basically the colors the buttons turn when you click it. So we'll just do like cyan, and the background color. Do magenta. Okay, and these are so you can just keep adding these depending on how many of the pages you have, but you can change the text here. So this could be just page one. And again, set an image. So this is all based on this app. It's really useful if you're in app dev. Basically, just gives you all the images you can use. And tag is just like a reference thing. Just order it from 0 and 1 as you go on. So 2, 3, 4. The more you add. All right, now back to here. We'll do self.present. We're gonna first define the tab bar as like its own. Reference it. Present. Wait, no, you do VC. So if we click it, it'll bring us to this page. And hold on, it is not displaying properly. There's a bunch of options we can do here when you present it. So then we can also do there. Right. Right. So basically, you saw that when I clicked it, it basically opens like this half page that can be dismissed. We can put this view controller inside a navigation controller, and that gives us more customization with how we present it. So in this case, we can do a full screen. So that should make it look better, but give it a second. Oh. Oh, wait. Oh, oops. That should be now. Wait, is it? Give me a second. This is new. I haven't done this in a while. Right? Okay, yeah. So now we have a full screen presentation of the new view controllers. I do want to check on this really quickly though, because the background color is not being adjusted properly. Let's see. See if this will help. Give me a second. I'm just trying to test something out. Sorry, it's really quick. See if this changes anything. Huh. Okay. Oh wait, I'm missing code. Hold on. Here. Ah. What am I missing? Let's see. Controllers. Ah, my bad. There we go. Sorry, this is what I needed. PCs. And that should fix the problem. That's what I'm like. There we go. So now we have buttons, and these are two different pages, which I distinguish different colors. There. I know I sped through that, so Which parts do you still need help understanding, if any, with the first page? Because let's see, I'll start from scratch. I know there's the gradient color.
Can you try showing me how to do the color grade thing?
The gradients.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So give me 1 second. I just need to. So we're gonna go back to. Oh, wait. Let's go to here. Okay. So now instead we're gonna do gradient. So we'll set like a background UI view controller, a UI view. Uh, this just makes it so we don't have to. This is like we'll basically set this as the background, and by do to do that, we'll just make the frame size of the background. So, view. Wait, sorry, don't use view because that's a saved keyword. And dot bounds just sets the views to the size of the bounds. And there's a hierarchy, so we need to declare like establish this one first. So now we get started on the gradient view. Basically, give me a second.
Um, can you say something?
Yeah, sorry. I had to double check my stuff really quickly.
Oh, okay.
So to do this, you're gonna need to do like a function because otherwise we need to like basically keep making our own. Let me double check. I have a yeah, never mind, I'll do this from scratch. I haven't done gradients in like forever, so let's see what we can do. Okay. We're gonna need to create a function to like set up this. That's the function. And we're gonna give parameters. Basically, we want to call this function, and then this will like take a view and then adjust it to make a gradient. So to let me see if I can do this really quick. So we'll do the view. So this is the view we're going to pass in, which will eventually be this when we call the function gradient view. And then we need to include the colors, which will be a array because a gradient is basically like two colors that slowly blend together, right? Sorry.
Mhm.
And the last thing would be the starting, or like I guess you need the start and end points. So we'll do which is the same thing. Now we're gonna start. This is a big thing, yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna create layers. I guess it did everything for me. Wait, no, that's incorrect. Okay, and then we're gonna do layer dot colors. Give me, sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry. We're gonna do with I think with gradient layer. Let's see. Let me see. We're gonna iterate through this array of colors. So we'll say color in colors. I guess layer. Wait, no. Sorry. I'm doing this with you right now. Uh, yeah. Let's start. The start point, we'll want it to be, I guess we'll do top left. So we'll just do CG point or, oh, hold on. Start point equals start point. Do the endpoint, same thing. Okay. So when you call the function, we're going to pass these, information in. And then we just set the frame. Corner radius, if we want to, we can do it, but it's like covering the whole screen, so no worries there. Okay. Let's see. Wait. Dots. Int. Okay. Let's see if this works first, because even I don't know. After we add this to here, so we're gonna call set up gradient view. So the view is gonna be just gradient view. Colors, we'll just go these two. And start point will be CG points. See if, oops. What did I do? Oh, okay. Let's see if this works. No, okay, that's okay. I added this in the background, right? See if I did anything. Oh, colors equals. It should work. What if we did? Yeah, I'm just experiment. Oh, we're time's up. I'm sorry.
Oh,
you gotta go, right? I heard you gotta leave at like 11.
yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't much.
How much longer will do you think until you can?
This I am not sure because I've never done this actually, grading colors. That was, last time was with Alex's help, so the
Okay,
tutor. Like, sorry about that.
next one. Uh,
Yeah,
are you
if you really.
gonna, are you, can you like finish it and maybe like share the
I
code
can.
with me or something?
Yeah, I'll email you the project so you can just
Okay,
mess around with it as well. Okay.
okay.
Sorry
All right,
about
that
like.
sounds good. No worries. All right. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay, I guess maybe Alex can show me as well really quickly.
Hmm.
Yeah. I guess this is it.
The
So we'll
gradient
keep working
color.
on keep working on these gradient later, I guess. And maybe we don't have to. So for the first version, I guess we just need a very concise and very mono color scheme. Maybe just a black and a white, or maybe some easy color. So this should be good. Okay. All right. So, I think, yeah, this is supposed to be everything for today's. Alex, do you have any questions?
Uh,
All right, Mark, do you have any questions?
I'm okay. Or besides,
Okay.
maybe just this gradient thing is still new for me as well. So
Okay. So this is basically append, not CG, not CG color. This supposed to append a variables of C underscore color rate. Because the colors
oh,
come
oops.
all CG colors.
Yeah.
So then I guess this is what you want to append. You need actual object rate. So declare that after line 22.
Declare what?
No, after line 23 now. It's after line
Oh,
23.
oh,
Yeah, so let cur color equals CG
oh.
color.
Oh,
CG
oh, I
color.
see what you mean.
Yeah, and then you have to give it an actual value, CG color.
Oh,
Um, C color.
C
CG
color.
color with the parentheses, right? That is the real
Oh,
objects of
oh, oh,
that.
you meant that. Okay.
And you append it to the cur, right?
Oh,
Yeah, you can use a colors period append cur, right? Colors period append cur.
oh,
Yeah,
cur
then
doesn't have loop
well,
valve.
yeah. And then this one you need to grayish fix, I guess. Yeah, you actually need to give a little
So,
parameters here. So
yeah.
0.1, 0.1 is fine. These were just the uh yes, they would just cancel the warning. So no compilation error now. Yes. Okay, I guess it's the right time to stop right here. Okay. So Alex, I want you to go over these projects after class and simply just if you can do these by yourself, all right? Okay, so Mark has already showed you everything about this onboarding page, right? Okay. And then next session we'll be keep working on these. So first I'll finish the architecture, the UI, and we implement the algorithm. Then it should be okay. Good. Because eventually,
okay.
Alex, you need to present these by yourself, and whenever the first demo is done, so uh, I guess just like the way Mark handled his previous work, and eventually Mark mastered all fundamental and advanced technologies, and then yeah, it's just a matter of time. All right, good. So good job, guys. We'll be seeing each other next time. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Like,
Bye.
or I guess, could I ask you